Hey everybody, and welcome to the daily card reading for the 29th of March of 2026 from the Druidcraft Tarot deck today. This is for Sunday. So always with these, like, comment, share, follow, subscribe, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Randy Montauk 93 at YouTube, the Montauk Experience on Facebook, and Randy Morningstar 747 on TikTok. So we'll do one card for the morning, one card for the afternoon, and one card for the evening. As always, morning is midnight on the 29th all the way to the afternoon. And of course, evening time is evening until midnight of the 30th. So we'll see what's going on. Oh, there it goes. We have the Lovers reversed. So there's going to be jealousy going on, toxic love, unrequited love, one-sided love. If you do this for me kind of thing going on. Seems to be a lot of passive-aggressive behavior, saying one thing but not doing it. Saying they're gonna do something, but then not doing it. Saying they're not gonna do it, but then doing it. Saying they love you, but then acting like they don't. Saying they don't love you, but then doing a gesture that makes you think they do, because your love language is different than theirs. So you're receiving their acts of kindness as love language. So it's basically like a receptor or receptivity thing. The answer right now is like not right now. Simply because there's toxicity in the love, there's a one-sided love fest going on, there's like a supply and demand. One person is holding the past against someone they love. So like, if you recently got a divorce from somebody and they're like, oh, I'm treating you this way because you divorced me, and if you wanted me to behave, then you shouldn't have divorced me. That would count. Oh, you had my kid, but now you want child support. If you want child support, you're going to let me see my kid. Otherwise, you're not getting child support. That could be one. It could also be like, oh, well, if you don't do me a sexual favor, you're not getting that promotion. That could be one. It could also be one of you thought that they loved you, they knocked you up, and then they left you and refused to let you get an abortion, but also refused to be in the kid's life. It could also be that they forced you to get an abortion when you didn't want one. There's a lot of like scorned love going on. A lot of people acting out because in the past you hurt my fifis, and now I gotta come for you like I'm only 22 years old. It's like a drunken stupor, like when someone gets really drunk and then they get thinking really stupid, and then they go walking drunk to your house and banging on that door, be like, it's like that. And then when they sober up, they're like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it, I was drunk, it will never happen again. Yes, it will. If it's been recurring, like it has been for the last 2 to 3 weeks, or 12 to 13 years, it's not going to change overnight. But it sure as hell should have changed within 2 to 3 weeks or 12 to 13 years. If they truly meant it. And weren't just using it as a string to keep you along so they didn't have to face their fear of being alone and being the only one that ever loves but has never loved themselves. There seems to be a lot of like Tainted Love references. The song Tainted Love sticks out as well. I'm not going to tell you who sings that because it's also like a poem name, and it could be by different bands, and I don't want to limit you just to the one band. Refusing to listen to certain songs that remind you of past loves, like Old Red does for some people, like White Liar would do for some people. Carrie Underwood, Before He Cheats, might trigger somebody. Bartender by Rehab might trigger somebody. The Beatles might trigger somebody if you're not into that kind of stuff. Elvis Presley, Conway Twitty, etc., etc., etc. Oh, let's see. Between the hours of 1 in the morning and 5 in the morning, there's going to be some form of heated argument or debate within your head or in the subconscious that is happening. Like you're overthinking or you're gaslighting yourself or your intuitive guides are trying to get a hold of you without anybody else overhearing about a love situation or about someone who claims to love you or about an offer that revolves around like an act of love, like service, words of affirmation, mutual spending, promises of money, promises of sharing bills, etc. And we have this card, which we have the Five of Pentacles. And this is the card of abandonment. So this is a card where there's loss and scarcity going on. You feel like you've lost someone close to you, feeling with someone really important. By April 5th at 5 p.m., you will have an answer come to you of saying no because of the toxic love, because of the unrequited love, because past love that treats you badly is around you, because you're highly reactive about your past loves. They're not going to show up into your life anytime soon until you are ready to handle that stress and the emotions. They're basically saying quit the zero, get with a hero, but they're not saying quit your current lover to come with me. They're saying quit your current lover and put yourself first because you deserve to be alone than be treated poorly by someone who claims they love you. So if someone claims that they love you and they act like they don't, believe their actions. Their actions and their physical touches, or lack of, will speak volumes. High emotional reactivity due to low emotional regulation and high emotional immaturity can be seen throughout the day, especially between 5 a.m. and 5 p.m. It looks like there's going to be a lot of needing to rest, a lot of time on your feet, a lot of time thinking and moving things around, hard work, diligence, and passion on challenging yourself with conflict of interest and with devotion tactics and loyalty arrangements, figuring out what promises you can keep, figuring out what promises you're willing to keep, figuring out why people promise you things and then not keep them can also be hindering your progress, so don't think too long on that. Create a cognitive dissonance on that. Accept the fact that they never truly wanted to help or they never would have pulled out the offer in the first place, and move on. A lot of people say things they don't mean, especially when they're offering help. There's been a lot of times where people can go to a wedding or a funeral and hear, well, if there's anything I can do for you, and then they go, yeah, do this, and then they just don't want to. For example, I had the other day someone come up to me and said, God bless you, Jesus loves you. I said, if Jesus loves me, would you please pray with me so I can get some food? And he said, well, it's your fault you don't have food. It's your fault you're homeless. It's your fault you have PTSD. How am I supposed to help you with food? God will provide. God will do it. So that kind of religious abuse can be seen throughout the week as well. And people might be using your faith and or your religion and or your spiritual practices as a weapon against you to act out. They could be like, oh, because your guides did this, or oh, because you do tarot, or oh, because you have to talk to yourself for an hour and a half in the morning. I don't want anything to do with you, kind of a deal. And then in the end of the day, we have the Chariot. So from like 2 p.m. to like 2 in the morning again, there's going to be a lot of self-assuredness, a lot of drive, self-government. So you get to choose your own path, you get to build your own way, to do your own thing. You get to be your own body, you get to be your own person, do what you want, deal with the good and the bad, and stay centered. You're able to drive your point across, you're able to stand strong, you're able to control yourself and your temperaments for the most part, but you do have a strong head on your shoulders and a strong opinion, so your words may need a little bit of work. Working on your word choice and the way you present yourself can be very intimidating, so work on your intimidation factors, work on your abandonment wounds, work on your motherhood wounds so that the shame and humiliation of being abandoned or having to feel like you're abandoning your child doesn't pull up. Do not allow other people to use your children or your love or what you love or who you love or how you love or what you do in the bedroom as leverage. Don't allow that kind of exploitation around you, especially with those that have a lot of feminine energies or feminine auras, or those that claim to be a protector of women. There are a lot of women guides and those that are protectors of women that are going to be strong and around. So like Persephone, Athena, Apollo, Lucifer, Satan can come at times of great need. I'm not saying he has permission for you or for me. It's just an observational statement. Satan tends to show up when children and or women are being mentally abused. Let's see. Confidence is key, and confidence can sell lies. So be careful with your words, because even if you say the wrong thing confidently, you can harm someone or something. You can harm a relationship you have. You can harm any chances you get of help. You could be fired from your job. You could be denied that house. You could be denied that adoption. You could be permanently banned from a housing shelter. You could be kicked out of therapy. So just watch yourself and watch your voice, watch your mouth, watch yourself. And I'm not saying that you have to stay quiet and you can't say what you want to say, but there are times and places for certain things, and there are certain ways you can word it in which you can still get away with it. But there are some things that you cannot say, no matter how you phrase it, that won't come off negatively to someone that doesn't want to hear it. There's a lot of high reaction of, I didn't want to hear it, therefore you don't love me, because if you love me, you wouldn't do this kind of a deal. Don't let them play that game with you. That's just bullshit. But that's what I get for the 29th on Sunday for the Druidcraft Tarot deck. So as with these, though, take it resonates and leave it doesn't. Thanks for joining.